Hot button topic of the day, strikers. Let's see what we're looking at. Welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone. I'm Justin Sofro. Today is June 10th. It is a Thursday, 2021. Just to get started, first go ahead and hit that like button and please subscribe. I'm going to do this early. If you're not subscribing and if you're not liking, the rest of this video will just be blank. So please continue. Make sure you hit that like button and hit that subscribe as it really helps our channel. So we'll go ahead and get into this news and we'll run it down now. So starting out, our number one topic of the day involves the striker position, beginning with DiMarzio's report on Ronaldo. DiMarzio is saying that Ronaldo has the desire for a new experience, but his salary is high. The clubs currently interested are PSG and Manchester United, but they won't be able to match his salary, so I'll have to lower his demands. That's something to keep an eye on. We've been talking about this for a long time right now. Basically, when it comes to Ronaldo, we're not sure about his future. I believe all the reports say that he'll wait until after the Euros conclude to kind of decide his position on if he's returning to Juventus, if he's going to find a new challenge, even though I guess there's still plenty of challenge going on here for him. But right now, it looks like it's a wait-and-see approach. If not, they're going to need to fill that position with somebody else. Who else are we looking at? Yesterday, we talked about Belotti a little bit. That's kind of I think it's a non-starter issue. Little bit of a clickbait, basically, from Tuto Sport and whoever, just because of the issues with Cairo, as well as, maybe it's not our best position. Though he's 27 years old, so he's not too old, but he's still not the youngest side of he's not a spring chicken. God, that was musty. That was a real musty sentence to say. Anyway, whatever. Moving on. Memphis Depay is the next big name that's been coming out. That's been kind of like, well, why am I blanking on the word? Basically, he's been floated out there for Juventus. Nico Vallis is saying that Juve tried to enter the race for Depay, but the position of Barcelona was still solid. We'll cover these. A couple of things going on about him. DiMarzio is also saying Juventus have not overtaken Barcelona for Depay. Barca remain in pole position. Kind of expected that. And then Mundo Deportivo is saying that Juventus would have offered $3 million a season more than Barca's offer for Depay. Barcelona have offered or have responded by offering a further year of contract. Now everything is in the hands of Depay. So, like, who do you trust in this? I tend to lean more toward DiMarzio and Nico Ballas' stance on it, that basically Juve are not really in the race for Depay. But maybe we'll see if anything changes. As we know with the Mercado, anything can change any moment. Moving on is Icardi. Right now, Sky Italia is reporting that Icardi is not a target at the moment for Juventus. There are no negotiations with PSG, who will only look for a striker if Ronaldo leaves. Icardi, however, remains a profile that Allegri likes. Icardi, I'm opening up a little bit more to the idea of Icardi to Juventus, mainly because the other names are just so poor in my book. Moving off of that, the last name that we really have for the position, you probably saw it in the thumbnail, is Dzeko. Dzeko still seen as an option, as he would be almost free to leave Roma from Corriere dello Sport. That's great that he's free. I don't want Juventus going in and offering him a multi-year deal when he's 35. He could retire any day. I don't think that's a good investment for Juventus. So I'm off the Dzeko train. I'll go back on my word when I said a few videos ago, I'd rather have Icardi if that's all those are our options. So with me, Icardi would be a decent replacement for Ronaldo if he were to go. Okay, moving on to the goalkeeper. Right now, Tuto Sport saying Aldero, Cragno, and Ospina have all been looked at, as well as Mirante, who could be useful in the UEFA list that have played in the youth academy. When we talk about the keeper position, it's still a hot button topic to me. I'm still a bit down from what unfolded with PSG and everything earlier this season. It was just a few days ago. So I'm not really happy to hear that. I mean, I understand that they're going to need a backup goalkeeper. Honestly, with all this happening, the way it unfolded, I wish Buffon would have just been our starting keeper from the last few years, and I wish he would have stayed one more season. It's disappointing to see him leave and to have to replace him with a lesser keeper. But those are some names to keep an eye on. Honestly, if I'm being forthright, I don't care about any of those names. None of those names really excite me. I've seen Ospina had a pretty good game against Juventus, but of course every keeper has had a good game against Juventus last year, it feels like, or two. Moving on, Locatelli, some more Locatelli news that we have. Calcio Mercato is reporting that Fagioli, Dragusin, and Rovella are all players Sassuolo like and could be included in a deal to lower the price of Locatelli. Which again was what Dragusin's a new name to hear for Sassuolo, but we know Fagioli and Rovella in there. Di Marzio is saying the priority in the midfield is the midfielder, regardless of the outgoing transfers, and Allegri's priority is Locatelli. But there's a European competition heating up currently. The city has studied him. Barcelona as well. They also like him, I guess in the city as in like Man City. Barcelona as well. They also like him in the Premier League. Juve is setting up a negotiation, but if Locatelli does well in these European games, maybe they really will spend the whole full 40 million euro. So I'm hoping they find a way to kind of lock it down, get it done early, rather than waiting for anything to happen with when it comes to the Euros, whether he has a poor or good performance. So I'd rather they just go ahead and get it done. If they can get it done within the next week or two, it would be amazing. I don't know if that's actually an option. Also, latest reporting, Romeo Agresti is saying that, sorry to pull my phone because that's actually where it's on right now, because it's when I'm shooting this video. But Locatelli has given his priority to Juventus. So we know he's confirmed it. We've heard that from a lot of people, but when Romeo Agresti says it, it's true. So when he's saying that Locatelli said, I want Juventus to make it happen. So that's basically where it's going to go for him. I think, I think if we're lucky, they'll be able to organize some kind of agreement before, not before the Euro start, they start tomorrow, but maybe before it's all over. And your favorite news of the day is Pjanic. Pjanic, this is Rack 1, if that's correct. I don't honestly know that source. If you know it, let me know, I guess. You don't have to. Pjanic has a great desire to return to Juventus. His agents had a meeting with Barcelona last week in which they communicated the midfielder's desire to return to Turin. In this meeting, they would have talked about a 2-year loan deal. I keep giving opinions, but my opinion is just no. I don't think we need Pjanic. I understand he can fit into Allegri's system all right, but to me, he's a last ditch option. So keep him on the back burner. Tell him to hold on. You wait a minute. We'll see. We'll see what we can get first. If we don't get anybody else, then maybe you can join the squad. But right now, you hang out. You need to hang out in Barcelona. Some other bigger news, maybe not big, but the name's big for us because it's who we want. We've been talking about it for years since he left. Is Paul Pogba. Pogba said that this is with Sky Sport UK. He said, "I have 1 year. I have 1 year left on my contract. Everyone knows that. I have not had any concrete." Concrete contract extensions. I am still at Man United. Manchester United have open talks with Paul Pogba's representatives over a new contract, which is what Sky Sport UK is saying. So, it's a little bit, Pogba is saying one thing and then Sky Sport UK themselves are saying something different, basically saying that they have open talks with the new contract, while Pogba is saying that he's not had any concrete extension offers. So it's all talk for right now. The one thing I know the big thing that I think I speak for a majority of Juventus fans right now when I say this, is that what we would love to see happen is a swap deal between Pogba and Ronaldo. That's the one thing that I would love to see happen. It would be a good deal for both squads. The one issue with this that I see is if I'm Manchester United and I'm sitting back, looking at the situation currently, if you're pretty confident that you can get Pogba to sign an extension at the end of this, instead of him going to, say, a PSG or something like that, what I would do is, again, this is not fortuitous for us Juventus fans, but I would sit back, wait out the year, let Ronaldo finish his last year at Juventus, get him on a free, and then basically you're doing what Juventus fans kind of wanted for the last years. We're planning out that would happen here. That basically you would get Pogba coming off a free to join Ronaldo in Juventus. Instead, it's going to be the opposite, possibly, where they can sit back, extend Pogba, and then have Ronaldo join him, and then you have some two superstars on the team. I hope that doesn't happen. I hope that Pogba somehow we finagle a deal with a United. But if they were smart, I don't think that they're going to do it. It's something to keep an eye on. I've heard rumors that there's definitely a possibility, and they're pretty solid. So we'll see what happens. But I would just love to see Pogba back in Juventus. I just don't know what Man United, what their plans long term would be. And then moving on, Morata news, just kind of more confirmation that Monday or Tuesday, the announcement of the renewal of the loan for one season, Morata will be made. The amount will be as agreed upon, the 10 million euro. So nothing really new there, nothing earth-shattering. And then going on, I think the final news of the day that I have is, I'll make sure there's nothing else. It's the most disappointing news of the day for me, is that DiMarzio is reporting regarding Donnarumma. And yeah, you probably heard my voice kind of go a little bit more depressed or unhappy with this. But basically, DiMarzio is reporting that Allegri immediately said Szczesny. He said no to Donnarumma to keep Szczesny, who for Allegri is among the top 4 in the world. That was hard to get out. The top 4 in the world is Szczesny. I'm sorry. I think Szczesny is a solid goalkeeper. Do I think he's top 4 in the world? Hell no. No, I didn't. No, the performance I saw last year, I understand there are a lot of issues with the team as a whole, but he did not appear to be a top 4 goalkeeper in the world. Let me finish this. Gigio was a priority, but with Tech staying, it would be too much to handle. When he says Gigio was a priority, I guess when they say was, the rumor is that it was a priority and would have happened with Paratici, but since he left, it wasn't going to happen, which, almost is upsetting with me, because at that point I almost would be like, okay, keep Paratici for another year. Of course, the other rumors was that if Paratici would have stayed, that Dybala would be gone. So it's like, who do you invest more in, Dybala or Donnarumma? 2 different positions, 2 different needs when it comes to that. It's hard for me to say which one I would have picked, because I still think that Dybala has a chance to be the basically the star of Juventus and a leader going forward. But Donnarumma he's 22, he has all those years that he could really contribute to Juventus going forward. Obviously, it's done now. I mean, it's not done. The deal with PSG is not done, but the dream of him at Juventus for next season, and in the short span, though I don't know how likely it'll be going forward that there's ever a chance that he'll join Juventus down the line. I just feel like Juventus really, I don't want to say shot themselves in the foot, but I think a few years down the road, we may be thinking that, unless either Szczesny takes off again or we pick up another keeper that just is a superstar. I don't think it's going to happen. I think we're going to be looking back at this moment in this, this week, really, in the future. I'm going to be, upset and disappointed that it didn't happen, because it could have been a big deal for the club. That's all the news I have for you today, but check in with us tomorrow to get the latest roundup covering all things Juventus. Please like the video and subscribe, as it really helps us as our channel grows. Please be sure to like it and subscribe it. It really helps. It makes a big difference. You'll see going forward, the more and more we're able to offer you, and I promise you, it's only going to get better from here. So what you're doing right now is it's probably the least of my content producing abilities. We're learning, we're starting out, but I think it's great for the Juventus community to keep growing. And don't forget to hit that bell to stay up to date and receive notifications as soon as they drop. The videos drop. Make sure to follow Bianconeri Zone at Bianconeri Zone on Twitter and Instagram, and follow me at Justin Sofro on Twitter. Forza Bianconeri.